Yes. Hello, buddy. All right. Welcome to the Mikestand. Today is, of course, Sunday, December the 14th, 2025. We're, of course, the first night of Hanukkah. So happy Hanukkah to those who celebrate that. Um,
Hanukkah Samak, everyone.
all right. So, with that being all said, before we, of course, get into um, what we're going to be going over tonight. I'm going to pass it off to my co-host for the evening, the Metal from the Vomitorium. Going to give him a chance to do any promotions, update us on anything going on. Whether it be projects he's working on or his channel or anything like that. You know the shtick, right? Right there, Metal.
I don't know if I want to know this shtick. That sounds a little gross if you ask me. But anyhow, yes. Hey, I'm the metal. I do a lot of different things. In fact, I probably don't have the time to name everything that I do. But some of the things I do most frequently these days are I host live shows over on a channel called the Vomitorium Live, and I'm actually going back to the one of the old schedules, but later in the evening for it, where we're just gonna have a live show for an hour every single night. Gonna be a late night show, 12 Eastern, 9 Pacific. So you can find it that time. Hop on. We'll have a good time talking about really whatever I feel like talking about, but games, anime, manga, maybe films, whatever, the stuff that interests me, the normal stuff we talk about. And I also write fiction that all takes place in pretty much the same world over at xdynamuschaos.com with a bunch of interconnected stuff, including the stuff you see in my webcam, like On Tour with Mitch and Sandy there. Those two girls that are using Boring's not a flamethrower to light a giant menorah. So, fun stuff that you can find. And you spend hours on that site. That's it. That's all I want to promote.
All right. All right. So, anyways, anything else you want to add before we move ahead?
No.
All right. So then we're gonna. So again, a friendly reminder, of course, to everybody. If you haven't already, if you guys can help out by liking and sharing the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people to engage. That'd be appreciated. Also, if anything we talk about grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions, and we'll try to answer the questions to the best of our ability. With all that being said, tonight, of course, with today being Sunday, this is our weekly trip down comics history lane. Right now, we're venturing through July of 1940. This week, we'll be venturing into the world of Columbia Comics, most notably Big Shot Comics number 5. We'll be going through such features as Skyman, Face, Marvello, maybe a one or two others. Um, Metal, did you want to read tonight, or did you just want to do commentary?
I don't know. I can't answer that. Let's start with commentary. Maybe I'll change my mind. If it looks wacky enough, maybe I'll want to voice somebody.
Okay. All
I
right.
know Skyman's a pretty wacky one, so maybe. Who knows?
All right. Well, then let's go ahead and get started then. Let me just pull that up, of course.
I remember Skyman being the one that I had very interesting thoughts about the logistics of how he notifies people.
Hmm. Uh, oh boy. Of course, I guess while we're waiting for that to. Hey, if it shows up. Hold on a sec. Anyway. All right, there we go. Don't know why that thing was acting up like that, but
Please disable your ad block.
yeah, all I have to do is just clear that part out, and then everything is usually okay. So September 1940. That's a cover date, of course. Big shot number 5 here. Um, America's finest comic features. A complete Joe Palooka story. Um, Say, Nubby, look at the cute little fish I just got. Cute little fish.
Mm.
A shark! The Skyman, Charlie Chan, Marvello, and many other favorites. The Skyman by Paul Dean. Across the airways of America, a flaming figure races. The Skyman in his fleet, fleeter than sound airplane, the Wing. From the cabin steps, the Skyman. I'm late, but I got what I wanted. This this vial will revolutionize civilization when I complete my experiments. And now for Fawn and the theater. A few moments later, he becomes Alan Turner, Playboy. Fawn's in love with the Skyman. I think, but I'm just a lazy bones for her money. I wonder if she'll ever find out. Interesting ponderers, hey there, Metal?
You ever notice most of these guys tend to be playboys?
Yeah, I've thought about that before, and I think I think I've even brought that up a few times on the show before. That a lot of these times tend to be people who are either like, as you mentioned, playboys, or in maybe more like prominent positions.
Yeah, yeah. It's like I'm not arguing that they shouldn't be wealthy to be able to do their thing or anything, but they're always playboys, right? And I guess maybe it's because like the idea that this type of like aloof person who's always like going on dates with women and stuff couldn't possibly be like this serious superhero. But I think there's also a part of it where like maybe the writers were projecting that like these are the aspirations they wish they could have had and never did.
Well, that's possible. I mean, who doesn't want who? I think it's a very basic human element right there. Who doesn't want to rise above their current station, right? Unless you're
I don't know.
unless
I'll
you're
tell you,
unless you're at the absolute top, which I think
having a
very
bunch of women want you can be a pain in the butt. I used to have to beat them away with a stick when I was in school.
uh, yeah. Well, I guess as they say, the grass is always greener on the other side. Hmm. It's because they have to be a modern equivalent of nobles.
No, and I got that, but that doesn't mean they have to be playboys specifically.
Well, let's see. You got Clark Kent, you got Clark Kent and Billy Basson, who are news reporters. You've got Diana Prince, who's a secretary, right? Or an aide. Um, let me see. Um, yeah, our man who's a chemist. Yeah, Dahlman, who's also a chemist.
Mhm.
So
If
know,
anything, being a playboy is almost spitting in the face of nobles because nobles didn't get to pick who they got to marry. right? Most of their marriages were arranged for like political reasons.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, which, well, I think even in Japan, it's still the case where you do have some situations where, you know, where marriages are, at least with some of the animes I've watched, like Mizan Koku and all that. But
Yeah, but that was back in like the 80s. And even then, by the late 80s, 90s, that became a rare thing. That's why it was like such a funny idea in Ranma that they had an arranged marriage. It was still happening, but it was a very rare thing to be happening. Today, it's very rare. That's more common in places like India among the higher castes.
hmm.
There are still arranged marriages that happen. It's just not as much of a thing as it used to be.
I tend to throw out cliches when writing if they get in the way. Hmm. All right. Well, anyways, continuing on with the story, of course. That the good that the oh wait, well let me start again because I think these are actually supposed to be kind of be connected. Fawn's in love with the Skyman, I think, but I'm just a lazy bones for her money. I wonder if she'll ever find out that the good for nothing Alan Turner is her dream man, the Skyman himself. What do you think, Metal? You think that's a possibility?
Nah, it's never going to happen.
Hmm. As Alan drives toward the city, in parentheses, across the river in New Jersey, in a research laboratory, one more experiment, and I've found the secret of perfect light. Hmm. He throws a switch, the great electric current to start. It'll take all the juice to finish this that the electric company has.
That was worded poorly.
Yeah,
They
kind
should
of
have put,
weird.
it'll take all the juice the electric company has to finish it. They should have just reordered that sentence.
Hmm. Yeah. The research laboratory rocks with a terrific explosion. The giant dynamos of the utopian electric company blow up. Help! The entire skyline is lit with red flare. Good Lord! And my ears are still ringing from that blast. The entire state must have gone up. Helen, the Utopian Electric Company's plant has exploded. So has American Laboratories. So that's what it was.
It's a horrible name for electric company, by the way.
What, American Electric?
Yeah.
Hmm. The police called me to drive over and make out a report. You'll drive me, won't you? Certainly, Mastermind Detective. On the way, Fawn tries to get Alan, um, quote unquote, to reform, not knowing he is the Skyman. Be like the Skyman. Did you read about his heroic feat in saving lives in that flood? You're wasting your time. I'm just lazy, Fawn. Of course, we know why a lot of these heroes kind of play mild mannered or lazy, right?
Well, yeah, expectations. They don't want you to be able to think that that other person could be you. Because you're like, yeah, that's just not in their character.
Well, there's one other added element there too. It's to protect those around them too. Because if, let's say, the people who are around you can pick up on the fact that maybe you might be that hero, so can your enemies, and the enemies might go after your friends to get to you.
Yeah, but you know what? I always thought that was a stupid idea because, like, if your enemies figure it out, it doesn't matter whether the other people around you know or not, right? But
Mhm.
if the other people know, they can take precautions that they wouldn't have otherwise. They're like, oh, I'm really close friends with like Batman or whatever, right? Peter Parker. I'm close friends with Spider-Man. Maybe I should be more careful about like not being near where supervillain activity is or something. But if you don't know and the Green Goblin figures it out, it's like, ooh, there's somebody I can use.
Hmm. Yeah. Like we've seen with the Gwen Stacy story, as well as Mary Jane Watson story in the '90s Spider-Man the animated series
Yeah.
show. Of course, if they are pals with one of the super, like let's say your Superman's pal, you can always get a signal watch too. Hmm.
How come there aren't any superheroes that operate out of a junkyard? Um, do you consider the SWAT cats superheroes? Because the SWAT cats operate out of a junkyard. I guess they're more action heroes, but they're about as superhero as Batman is.
Well, I mean, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles operate out
Operate
of
out of a
out of a
sewer.
sewer.
Yeah.
Actually, in somewhere down the road, we probably will start reading a feature. I mean, we're I don't know how long it take us to even get to that point though, because in WoW comics, one of the backup features after Mary Marvel was um, was Mr. Scarlet and Pinky, who you could argue were kind of a poor man Batman and Robin. Um,
Yeah.
he was a public defender basically, so he wasn't making bank. He was, he was a poor man's. So you'll be seeing
I
that.
mean, Daredevil had like a rundown apartment. So there was a few different characters that are kind of like that eventually.
Hmm. All right. So, anyways, getting back to sorry. You're impossible. I don't know what I see in you. See you here, Fawn. After you ask your questions. But when Fawn's out of sight, I think I'll look over the building myself. What I want is that research laboratory itself. He finds the electric bulb, or he finds the electric bulb experiment. A light bulb, but what a curious one. This may have something to do with the matter. And also the dead scientist. Rest your soul. I'll see what I can do to bring your killers to justice. Now that's quite a jump. That's quite a
Yeah.
jump.
Like,
I know Rick. I know Rick would probably be all over that one right there. It's
well,
like I
first
know.
off, how do you even know he was killed and not just died from an accident? You know, like,
Yeah, I mean, well, I know Rick. Rick would have already. Rick would have been all over that. He would have been jumping on that like white on rice. Um, I've seen all I want to see. Now to slip to the Skyman. He wheels he wheels his roadster about and heads for the sky drone. Sky drone. Fawn will skin me alive for this if I don't come back as a Skyman anyhow.
Fawn
All
is such
right.
an unfortunate name for a woman, right? Because you can't even say things like "my dear Fawn" without it being a pun.
I actually, back in elementary school, I actually had a classmate whose name was Fawn.
I'm just saying, unfortunate name.
Hmm. Even Green Arrow started out as a poor man's Batman.
Like it's one of those names where like all the boys will fawn over her. Like it's just like there's nothing you can do with that name without it being unfortunate.
Yeah. Well, see, I had a friend in school named Fawn, and I think there's one or two adult film actresses I know of named Fawn. So, uh,
I try
yeah.
not to know adult film actresses.
Well, I know of, not know personally per se, but I know of. But anyways, arriving at the Skydrome, he sets to work. She'd give anything to see him again. Oh well, women, you know. Hey, oh that comment would get him fricasseed right now in today's
Maybe. It's not like he's wrong.
time.
To be fair, I
Are
mean,
my
it probably would have gotten him like fricassee back then, right? It's just like women didn't have vocal positions in journals and stuff to complain about it. They would have just been stuck at home.
hmm. Are my eyes deceiving me, or is this really a mercury lamp operating on an electronic alternating series of explosions? Did you just burp?
Did I?
Sounded like you burped.
Maybe I did. I didn't hear it.
Uh, I guess maybe I'm hearing shadows or something like that. I could have sworn
I'm
that.
not denying it. I could have. I just wasn't paying attention.
Uh, he
I am
he
drinking soda. It's very likely I could have burped.
yeah. He changes to the Skyman's pilot suit. If it is, it will revolutionize electric light companies, and that's an idea. And races for the wing. Hmm. That may be the reason for those explosions. Somebody found out about the new lamp. Now for Fawn.
It is such a horrible design for a plane. Like from like a physics standpoint, that is just a horrible design for a plane.
Hmm. If I couldn't tell the cockpit there, I wouldn't be sure what that was. I almost think it's some kind of like I
Like a
don't know.
torpedo, because the wing is coming right at you, but it's in the shape of the rest of the like it's almost like a boomerang, like a single airfoil, and you can't even really tell that's the wing unless you're looking at the plane in the other image, so you're seeing it from another angle.
Hmm. Oh yeah. Oh, now I see what you mean. Yeah. Uh, Meanwhile, in New Jersey, I really have to run, Captain. And thanks for everything. I'll make out my report at once. Not at all. Is that an airplane I hear?
See, the real disaster is that they have to be in New Jersey.
Why is that?
It's not a good place to be. I was born in New Jersey, by the way. My parents were raised there. Um, we moved out of there because they wanted a better place to raise a kid. It
Well,
is horrible on crime and has the highest taxes out of any state in the union.
well, I know all of that's been more recent. You know,
Oh no,
uh,
it's been climbing the tax ladder for a long time, like the last century.
oh, okay. Well, I know that's one of the things that they were taught. It's kind of funny because I know you probably were aware of this. They had their governor's race a month ago,
Mhm.
and Citarelli, the Republican nominee, that was what he was trying to attack him on, is cost of living situation in particular. But
Oh, it's a beautiful state too. It deserves the title of Garden State.
uh-huh.
Climate wise, it's probably one of the best states you can live in if you can tolerate any amount of cold weather, because it never gets that cold there. But everything else is just a horrible place to live.
Hmm. Having fixed his robot controls on the wing, Skyman drops like a plummet. I'm sure I've got to tell Fawn what I've discovered. What? Oh, it's you, Skyman. Nobody else. Come on up.
Yeah, who else would like be swinging from a plane to just like kidnap you? You know, like
it's it's
like think about it.
well, okay.
He
No,
says
that's
nobody
not why
else.
I'm
Yeah, who
laughing.
else?
Though that's not why I'm laughing. It's the ironic. It's the irony of what you just said as we went down. We went down to the next panel.
Oh
There.
yeah, and then he's like blindfolding her immediately, and it's like this is consensual kidnapping, but like she didn't know it was him until after she was picked up. She's like, "Oh, Skyman." She was already grabbed by the guy by the time she realized who it is. This is technically a kidnapping that turned into a consensual situation.
Let's see. It looks like the shows over here is got a couple new things that were said here. Oh,
You read
actually,
that one.
yeah. That's how Skyman looks.
That is how the Skyman looks. Yes.
Hmm. All right. Anyways, back to the story here. Oh boy. Here
This
comes
must be
another
like some type
cliche.
of this has to be some type of like role play kink or something between the two.
Come on up and see you sometime. Recognize that little thing?
Oh yes, that is a very very old saying. Mostly
Midwest.
be with in inner cities with intercoms to get you up into people's buildings, but yeah, we've heard it in Tom and Jerry as well later. You know.
Mhm. Not me, but something I have to show you. Just so you won't know where we're going. Woo-hoo!
It's becoming more and more of like some type of kinky kidnapping role play by the second.
Yeah, no kidding. Uh,
Hey, she's into it though. That's all that matters is that she's into it. Okay, this is consensual, 100%.
yeah. I once thought of an air-based superhero called Arrowman when I was a little kid. I scrapped the Well, I think there might have been an Arrowman with that
Oh, there's
spelling
plenty.
in sometime in this time period. Probably a good thing you did scrap it because you might, depending upon how you designed it, you might have gotten into some trouble.
No, it's fine. You can use whatever name you want for the most part, as long as you don't try to market the name itself. Like, you could put it as a character inside another title. You can sell toys and merchandise as something else. You just can't really step on trademarks. That's the only thing you got to worry about.
Right. But I never give you away. I know that. It's for your own protection. The Skyman has enemies. I don't want any of them to get the idea. You can lead them. You can lead them. You can lead them to him. See the point I made earlier, right?
Yeah. And like, I get why people come to that conclusion. I just feel like they stop there and they don't think about all the other more beneficial things that would come along with, because I know this person is that person, I can take more precautions in my own life.
Yeah. Well, that's a funny thing though. I don't know. I've never really heard of any. Actually, that's not true because actually, I think the Sandman. It's kind of the Sandman and Diane Belmont. They actually were in that situation where Diane eventually found out that Wesley was Sandman, and if anything, she became almost like his assistant.
Yeah. Or like, Batman's always had somebody, like Batman's had Alfred. Well, actually, he later on they gave him more and more skills so that he could go and actually, if Bruce needed him to go do something, he could. But like for the most part, it's like he's in the safest place possible. Who's going to attack somebody who lives in the Batcave on his own turf? You don't know what type of traps Bruce set up and Alfred knows about. Like, there is a benefit to knowing that your friend is a vigilante or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Because if things did go down, you can properly respond to it.
Yeah. I don't know if you were aware of this, but the Alfred of Earth 2, of course, his last name was Beagle, not Pennyworth. The first Alfred. He was actually more. He was kind of more of a. He was kind of more. He was the butler, but he was more of kind of a goofball type assistant. Obviously, I know Alfred Pennyworth was given more, as you said, given more skills later, but Alfred,
because Alfred was originally just a butler, but then they had to start like explaining things. They started giving some backgrounds. Where one version of him was in the Royal Navy, one version of him was in like MI6 or whatever. But it really doesn't matter what background they give him. What's important is that he was always an important part of Bruce's life, and that it's like he's the one person you don't have to worry about people kidnapping, attacking, even if they did find out who Bruce was, because he's already inside Bruce's house, the safest place you can be.
Yeah, you're barely on your own turf, so.
Yeah.
Who's going to attack the Sanctum if Wong is around? Wong is a martial artist in the comics.
Oh, yeah. They did do him dirty in the Doctor Strange movie or whatever. Yeah, nobody. Wong could stop almost anybody from attacking the Sanctum because he knows every single thing in there. Like, even he's a martial artist, but he also knows like what all the artifacts and stuff do. Right, so like he could defend it if he needed to.
Anyway, getting back to the story here. Oh. The scientist who was killed in the explosion tonight invented a new type lamp, almost perfect of its kind. How in the world did you discover that? Never mind how. I did. There's your motive for those explosions. To keep the lamp off the market. Who would benefit by it? The Olympic electric. They're bitter enemies of the utopian electric. Olympic and utopian electric.
Yeah, Olympic, slightly better name for electric company than Utopian Electric. Not particularly good either way, though.
Hmm.
But if I was in that world and I had to pick between a company, I think Olympic Electric is selling me their services a little more just on the branding.
Huh. Hmm. Here's a little invention of mine: a liquid to coat glass to make it invisible by stopping reflections.
Um, um, if you that no, it would just turn black.
Oh man.
Yeah, like if you stopped all reflections, it would just be black. You wouldn't be invisible. In fact, you'd probably be, unless it was nighttime, it'd be great at nighttime, but otherwise you'd be the most visible because you'd
Hmm.
just be a black thing there.
Yeah, well, true enough. Well, also though,
It's like he invented window tint before people invented window tint, but he went way too hard on it.
I was just waiting to hear your analysis of the science here.
Yeah. I agree with Fizz. That's part of why it's like selling to me. It's like that makes it sound like Zeus Lightning Olympic. Also, in the other sense too, it sounds like it can go the mile. Like it's just a much better branding than Utopian Electric.
Hmm. All right. So, anyways, marvelous. But what has that to do with? I'm coding this recording for a phonograph of glass. I'll place it in the office of the Olympic Company. Great, that ought to prove our theory. Our theory?
Oh
I
yeah,
thought
she's just
I
starting
thought
to
it was
take
his
credit for
theory.
this now.
Huh?
She's just starting to take credit for this now. It's like, well, you kidnapped me, so the least thing you could do is put my name on the published paper.
Uh, the Skyman coats the recording machine with his new um, invention, making making it invisible with this machine. He hopes to warm a confession uh, in parentheses here, unintentional, of course, from those who caused the explosions. We're ready. We're ready. Now don't drop that machine.
It should seriously just be a black box in her hands. Now, if they did like some type of like mirrored retro reflection where each face was reflecting the light from the that was going through the other side, then that could work because then it would look like the light is passing straight through it. But like otherwise, it should just be a black box in her hands.
Hmm. Well, but then again, we have seen countless times the level of science education these authors have
Oh,
had.
yeah, this is still not as bad as the hub lights that was freezing water down to the ocean floor. I think that still kind of takes the cake out of everything so far.
Yeah, that story we read a while back.
Yeah. We have yet to surpass that.
Let's see. So according, actually, maybe there's again 1940s comic writers didn't understand how physics worked, even with their current time. Well, yeah,
I wouldn't lump them as a group because there are some that are much better than others. But yes, there's a lot of them that didn't even care to try.
Yeah. But then again, we always, and that's what one of the things that makes these shows pretty fun is when you look back at this and just see in many ways just how far we've come, right?
Yeah.
People
Like
have
there was
more.
also, well, I'm trying to remember which one it was. There was one that was actually pretty good that we read when I was on one time. And it's like, see, people can just go to the library and find things out if they want to.
Yeah. In order to make an object invisible, you would need to make it um,
Transparent.
transparent.
Either that, it'd have to be completely transparent, which means there can be nothing on the inside, or everything on the inside is equally transparent, or it would have to have some type of mirrored reflection where it's taking the light from behind it and wrapping it around, right? Which a lot of times you can only do that one directionally. Now, one of the things they do is they try to do a projection where there's a camera capturing the stuff from behind and projecting it onto the front. There's a lot of ways you could do it, but this is none of the ways to actually make something functionally invisible.
All right, we now, of course, continue on. The wing heads now. It looks more like a plane right there. That angle.
It's still a bad design for a plane.
The wing heads for Jersey. Here we are. This won't take a minute. The Olympic Electric Company. As the Skyman enters the building, an entire state fights a universal blackout. Dangerous driving up ahead. Lines all dark. The whole countryside is black. Hospitals have been hardest hit. I need more light. He'll die. Entire villages in total darkness. In the office of the president of Olympic Electric. They won't notice this. Then we'll have them all. I've got to get Fawn back to town. I don't want her around here when I come back. Over Fawn's New York apartment. Get those theories to the police and wait until you hear from me. What are you going to do? You'll be careful. Certainly. Don't worry your pretty head about me. Get those theories to the police. Go easy, Fawn. The Skyman's a busy man. Hang the police. But he did call me pretty.
Man, you just have to go. First, you kidnap a girl, you get her all worked off, and then you leave her wanting. I don't think he's very good at this part.
He might just be one of those that, the girl, well, maybe. What's going to happen now is man's work. By utilizing cosmic rays, the wing settles like an autogyro on the rooftop. Only an hour until dawn.
God, why are the propellers on the back of the wing?
Don't know.
Do you know why you put propellers in the front?
Why don't you educate us?
So that it's working with clean, undisturbed air to get maximum thrust and lift past the wings, which are the airfoil of the plane. If you put it on the back, it's not that you don't have like air to work with, but it's air that has already been cut by the airfoil of the wing, making it less effective. This is a really bad design, especially the shape of those wings. It's bothering me. I might forgive it if the propellers were at least on the front.
All right, well, anyways, only an hour until dawn. Lucky the Olympic company has lights. I'll take a look around. Smells like trinitro toluene. Imagine TNT in paint form. But why? TNT in paint form, very interesting.
Yeah.
If what I suspect is so, I've discovered how those explosions took place. The Skyman throws electric current. The Skyman throws electric current into the TNT. Painted wires. They glow with heat, and nothing happens. Maybe I was wrong. The red hot wires explode. The electric power fails. I was right. But my jaw doesn't think I'm so right. Well, there goes the Olympic powerhouse. Police car sirens shrill outside the window.
It's nice to know that as tough as he is not tougher than any amount of TNT. Like he could take a small explosion, but I imagine like if you actually had enough TNT, that could be the end of him.
Yeah. This ought to bring the bosses too. I'll get into the president's office. They ought to come anyhow. The Skyman proves a true prophet. I can't understand how our plants could be affected. An explosion in the lab caused a short circuit. The power will be on soon. You're right. The power is on again. The chemist must have forgotten an experiment that upset and caused short circuit. The utopian will go out of business. Now we'll get all their stock in bankruptcy and be the richest utility in the state. I need to go off camera here for a quick moment. Okay. I'll be right back. But if you want to talk to the chat for a moment, I'll be.
Yep. If it says it's a superhero story, Skyman could probably survive ridiculous stuff. Maybe he's not that ridiculous, at least from the last one that I read when we did Columbia on here. He seems like within at least what an action hero was at the time. And I'm talking about even more pulpy stuff before that. What he just experienced wasn't too much more than what a normal person could have survived. He looks like he has less burns than a normal person, but like you could put a cherry bomb in your hand, right? And as long as you left your hand open, you would just get some mild burns if it went off on there. It would hurt a lot, but your hand would be fine. Your hand doesn't get destroyed unless you actually like clench your fist and close the cherry bomb in your hand. So like that was reasonable for him to survive that little amount of TNT that went off.
All right. So, anyways, getting back to the story here. Now that I'm back. That liquid TNT is marvelous. The man talks on, not knowing the Skyman. The man talks on, not knowing the Skyman, and the invisible recording machine listens. I had no idea. I had no trouble getting a disgruntled worker to paint their dynamos with it. When they got hot, boom! They exploded, and I coated the inventor's wire too. So yeah, that TNT paint stuff.
Yeah. Actually, you know who I'm more impressed with their survivability? Fawn, right? Because Skyman is supposed to be an action hero. You expect him to have like a level of durability beyond a normal person. But
Uh-huh.
how fast does his plane have to be flying in the sky? Right? Like, think about that, to be able to fly and do what it's doing. But then he like hangs down from it and picks her up with one arm, accelerating her from nothing to the speed of the plane really quickly. Bravo, Fawn. You know?
I mean, that'd be for most of you. That'd be like what a bone rattling experience.
Oh yeah, like you probably crack some rib, you probably hurt your organs or whatever, maybe vomit, you know? Like bravo her. Maybe she's just used to it by now.
Maybe. Just so, gentlemen, and very clever too. Who are you? Unseen by the Skyman, the president presses a floor buzzer. The door opens and men flood into the room. Get that man! Okay, sir. Sneak thief, huh? I hate to do this to you, fellows. You aren't to blame. Get him! Get the liquid TNT, hide it. We've got to destroy that evidence. Then they can't convict us. Oh boy. They're in trouble.
Yeah.
Out of my way, boys. Don't say I didn't tell you. Take this, you. I'm sorry. Take this, you. The monkey wrench crashes against the Skyman's skull. Ouch! Good for you, Jake. We got him. At that moment, Fawn pulls her car to a halt outside the Olympic Electric Building. When the radio report of the second explosion came over, I knew the Skyman was in on it. Where the explosions take place? Laboratory, Miss Carroll. Laboratory, Laboratory, Miss Carroll. No clues though. So her name is Fawn Carroll, I guess.
Mm.
I'm going to take a look around just the same. What are you men doing? Huh? Who's that? You're destroying something. Give me that. So you're a detective. And here we go with the rough stuff with the women again. Help! What'll we do with her? Drop her in the acid vat. It'll dissolve her body, and no one will suspect. Sounds like a Batman trap.
Yeah, a little.
Hurry up with those handcuffs. This guy's dangerous. That scream. It was Fawn. I've got to be going, but thanks for the entertainment. He's loose again. Pardon me. That yell came from the laboratory. Hold on. It's that guy again. Blow your police whistle, Fawn. All right. All right. These men planned to plan the entire thing. Oof. Whee! The police will be here. These are the men who planned the whole thing. The invisible recording got their plan. It's on the bookcase in that office. I'm going now. But okay, here's $1 million question for you. If that tape recorder is indeed invisible, or then how's anybody going to realize? How is anybody going to work it?
Oh, you just start hitting spots until it works, right? Like if there's the tape recorder, it feels like a tape recorder. Play is always the first button on a tape recorder, so at least we'll be able to play it. Maybe finding rewind might be a little bit harder. Hopefully, while it's rewound, you don't accidentally hit the record button and record over what was ever there.
Or even worse, accidentally hit erase too.
Yeah.
Attention, Skyman fans. I'll be back with you next month with another thrilling mystery. Don't miss it, fans. Write into the Skyman, care of Columbia Comic Corporation, 369 Lexington Avenue, New York, New York. Let him know if you like him. After all, the Skyman wants to please his readers. Tell him what you'd like to see him do, but don't forget to write.
Actually, even easier. Just hit eject. You don't need the tape recorder. You just need the tape. Once you have the tape out, you could put it in literally any other player.
Yeah. Follow the sensational exploits of the Skyman each and every month in Big Shot Comics. All right. So we're done with the first story there, the longest, 11 pages right there. The others will be, I think, between 6 and I think they'll all be around 6 pages or so.
And hopefully this was the kinkiest story tonight.
I believe it will be, but you never know. All right, so Metal, overall impressions.
Let me see if I can get over how horrible that plane is. It's all right. I think it was better than the last Skyman story we read.
But you still found some things about it pretty incredulous, right?
Yeah, Skyman's weird. I don't know what to think about him so far. The whole plane thing just seems like unnecessary. Like if you need to get across the nation, if there's stuff happening on the other side of the nation, it's a really good gimmick to have. But he seems to still mostly be located in the same area. So it seems like just like a lot of work, really, to get into the plane and do things when you're mostly working in the same area anyway. It's like a very weird gimmick,
Well, I mean, he is Skyman after all. Or the Skyman.
I know. But you think Skyman should just be covering a much larger area.
All right. So anything more you want to add to that before we move on to the next? All right. Well, let's see now. All right. So let's see now. Spy Chief by Mort Daly. With war raging between Irola and Firma, the South American shipping of the USA is in grave danger. Jeff Cardiff, the spy chief, has been called into the office of his superior to discuss the grave threat. You've got to get down to South America at once, Jeff. Use your head. Use your head. If you see what looks like a spy game at work, bring it up without involving the USA. I get you. Jeff leaves on the SS Forward. Wonder what that is out ahead. A mine that broke loose from its mooring. I must see the captain.
Yeah, that's a little dangerous.
Just give me a few sailors. Um, I want to look it over and tow it out of your way. I know your record, Jeff Cardiff. Go ahead. It's stamped X3X. I wonder if that'll mean anything later on. The spy chief sets out sets about the ticklish business of turning the mine away. Easy does it. Don't let it bang against the boat. The forward gun on the liner destroys a mine when it is at a safe distance. That does it. The SS Forward docks. I'll pose as a vacationist so as not to arouse suspicion. Jeff mingles with the crowd. Nothing suspicious around here. That officer, that officer, dropped the paper. Meet you at Hotel Fort, ready with X3X. Lou. X3X again. I'll follow that officer.
This X3X thing is starting to get kind of suspicious.
That fellow looks a little like me. I wonder. In the shadow of the lobby. Easy does it, partner. What the? Oh wow! Look at they do look alike, don't they?
Oh, it's so much easier to disguise yourself as somebody if they already kind of look like you.
Yeah. In an empty Annie room, you and I are going to trade clothes. Juan, you came late. Lou, Louise, and I expected a man. Jeff pretends to have laryngitis, so he cannot talk except in whispers to disguise his voice. My cold. I can't talk. You caught a cold? Oh, wait. You caught a cold? Very suddenly? But never mind. We're all ready. Everyone is waiting. We'll break the USA's grip down here forever. They are within. At last, Juan. Now we can get on with the details. We are gathered here to arrange details of placing more mines, blowing up several U.S. factories and commercial buildings down here to teach them a lesson that the USA is not wanted by us. Jeff starts to cough violently. Pardon me. Better get some air, Juan. I had to think fast to get away from that bunch. To get an idea of the layout. I need to go off camera here again for a moment. I'll be right back.
Okie dokies. Do what you gotta do. See what the chat got. Oh, apparently, Fizz is talking directly to me about the Vomitorium, saying tomorrow, if you're inviting guests on, I don't know if I am or not, I'm going to poke holes in Twitless theory about why mean comics exist. I don't know why you need to come onto my show to do that, but if there's time and I run out of things I want to cover, maybe.
What was he just asking now?
Oh, he's talking about wanting to come on my show to poke holes in somebody else's theory.
Huh. Anyways, back to the story here. Wow, what an arsenal. These crackpots are going to start a revolution against a government friendly to the United States.
That's not a smart idea.
Uh-huh. They don't realize that the Monroe Doctrine, whereby the USA guarantees their independence, is their greatest blessing.
Yeah, but the thing is, we only really pay attention to that when we want to. Their greatest blessing is for us to just not be paying attention to them at all.
Your Uncle Jeff has to stop these nitwits at all cost. Yeah, I'm just thinking that maybe he's thinking about putting him over his knee and giving them a good old fashioned whooping, right?
I think he's got something else he wants to take across his butt. Maybe a bullet.
Yeah. When I shoot this wire, the spring will fire the gun. Right into the gunpowder, then bang! Bang! And the revolution ends. Upstairs in the conference room, Juan has been gone a long time. I'll look for him. Louise comes down just as Jeff is leaving. What's Juan doing there? What did you do in there, Juan? Making sure all things were in readiness. You won't be needing that gun. You lost your cold, and your voice is not Juan's voice. Get a move on. We haven't time to linger. Suppose I don't. You won't dare. You won't dare to murder me. I wouldn't kill you.
Why are you daring him?
Huh?
That's my question. Why are you daring him?
I wouldn't kill you, but the gunpowder is going to explode in a minute. We'll both die. No, let me go. He's a counter spy. Going to blow up the building. Get out. Run for your lives! The explosion it'll blow the building to pieces. Nothing like fear to make a human being run away.
If you're a spy disguised as a bartender to get information, does that also make you a counter spy?
What was that? I'm sorry.
I said, if you're a spy disguised as a bartender to get information, does that also make you a counter spy?
Well,
Because you're a spy that works at the counter?
Oh, I get it. Okay. Jeff leisurely gathers up the papers of the plotters. Nice of them to leave all their secrets for me. Now that they're safely out of harm's way, I'll blow up the building and all the millions of ammunition and dynamite.
I got another one for you. If you're a spy whose entire job is taking inventory of the number of troops the enemy has, does that make you a counter spy?
Countering spy with the truth, huh?
No, you're counting, right? You're a counter.
Jeff fires, cuts the wire, and the gun shoots. A colossal detonation rocks the countryside. Jeff is seized as though by a giant hand and flung 100 feet away. Wow! Well, I'm living, and this spy menace is ended. Swift police cars pick up Jeff. Take me to your chief. Concerns the revolution. That will never happen now. Here are names and dates all about the revolution. You risked your life to save my country from those revolutionists. Bravo, bravo. For you and the USA, both countries know what is best to keep freedom and liberty. The rebels would have destroyed that. You shall get a medal. You shall get a medal for this. 2, no 3 medals. Talk about pouring it on, huh?
Yeah, well, he's in charge. He can make up as many medals as he wants.
Don't miss the next adventure of Uncle Sam's great spy force as it keeps freedom and liberty safe for the United States of America. In each and every issue of Big Shot Comics. Don't fail to read the thrilling, action-packed story of the spy chief in every issue of Big Shot Comics.
They more or less just did the same thing twice there. Right, but
overall impression.
Oh man.
Huh?
I have to say, I have to disagree with the last statement they made, saying thrilling, action-packed story. This one was really boring. Right? Because it's supposed to be a spy thriller, right? And it kind of just felt like it went from point A to point B to point C to point 3. Like things were happening, but there was no tension. There was no drama. That's what you want from like a spy thriller. You want tension and drama. This was just like stuff happened. I don't think it was a very good use of the 6 pages they had. It should have been more of a vignette. Less things should have happened, and they should have spent more time in those things.
Would you have been more thrilled if, let's say, they threw in a little extra kink between Jeff and the female spy?
Maybe. It didn't have to be that much, though. But just anything that adds a little more heat or tension to it, right? Like, I think there was too much buildup we could have started at the point where he was kidnapping the guard or like taking the uniform off the guard that looked like him, right? You don't need all of this foreplay and even all of this finishing here, right? Like where he's talking to the that's because that's what it was, right? Or we don't need like this little afterthought, right? The cigarette you have afterwards. We don't need this part either. All we needed was the main part. It could have been a whole 6 pages of just the spy thriller tension. We could have spent more time in the building that he was rigging to explode. That would have been a better use of the 6 pages.
All right. Well, we're at an hour 15, so I think we're still making good time with this. So, moving on to anything more you want to say before we move on?
Well, I would tell them to do better in the future, but I know we're talking about something so far in the past that doesn't matter. I'm pretty sure this story's probably canceled before it even mattered. So,
This feature, you mean?
Yeah.
Charlie Chan. Well, we just had kind of a. I know Charlie Chan's more of a detective story, but Jimmy Jones, Rocky Ryan.
I think was it Rocky Ryan one that we read the last time we were doing Columbia?
I don't think so. I don't remember.
He looks familiar.
Well, there have been a few Rocky Ryans.
No, yeah, we did because we read the story about the
Rocky. All right. Well, okay. I wasn't going to read it again, but I guess we can.
We don't have to. I was just trying to remember if that was the one we read last time. But when we read the little entries, like, yeah, I remember it now.
Oh yeah, because it was Rocky, Roy, and the girl. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, but this. Okay, but.
No, continue whatever you were planning to read. I just wanted to make sure that was the one I was remembering.
Yeah. Well, actually, we should probably continue reading it. I didn't even realize that we had read it, but after killing the monster men, the monks of Mammon, the monster men of the monks of Mammon, Rocky and Roy tried to figure a manner of escape from the great monastery. With them is Fleur, daughter of the chief of Bhutan. How do we get onto that plane so we can escape? Leave it to Rocky. Thanks for the confidence. There's no way out except fight our way through.
You know what? With me? I'll read the blonde boy because he kind of looks like me. Okay.
All right.
You want me to start? I kind of cut you off while you were reading that one, so I don't know if you wanted to go finish it, but.
Well, I'd already finished it, but
okay. You bet.
We are. Past the steaming acid that they race.
I remember the steaming acid vat.
Yeah, I am beginning to remember more and more now. We get to a ground floor from which we can jump. Halt! Keep her running. I'll hold them off until you get below.
We don't want to leave you.
You won't. I'm coming now. Get going. Rocky, hold the stairs alone. 0 hour. Time to go. Look out below. Gangway. Oh. Never mind them. Jump. It's Rocky.
Get going, Fleur. We're coming.
Fleur jumps as Rocky swarms all over the two swordsmen. Over you go, Roy. Now, Rocky, protect us to the end. They will shoot. Let's run.
Wow, what a leap that was.
Ease up. We're far enough away. They'll never dare follow us into open country like this. Look, Rocky. They sent Thunderbird. Maybe. Why, it's a plane. But whatever is it doing so far north? It's in trouble.
No, I think it's me.
Yeah.
It's in trouble, Rocky.
Seems so. It's a new Beechcraft carrier, too. An army plane. The plane pulls out of its dive less than 50 feet from Earth. Gee, that pilot's in a bad way. Come on, Fleur, Roy. She's landing. What's wrong? Lost my mechanic at Durbar. Flew on alone. Motor's been splittering, and I don't know how to fix it. Rocky turns mechanic. The hissing comes from there. No wonder the pins are shot. I'll have it fixed in short order. Then we'll fly the rest of the way.
Gee, that will be great.
Me? Fly? Go on, Fleur. It won't bite. I hope you're right. Oh yes, were you? Oh yes, where are you bound for? Singali to stop and leave some firecrackers and other July 4th materials for a celebration of some sort there. Off for the northern boundaries. What's this celebration all about? A new Maharaja. He ordered plenty of the works for his celebration. A day later, off Singali. This is where the celebration is to take place. They receive a strange reception. Mohammed Musalman, death, death! What's wrong, Rocky? Fellow off his nuts. I'll tend to him. Mohammed yourself. Mohammed!
It's a weird caricature of a person.
Can't imagine what was biting him. Maybe we'll learn. Here come his pals. Here, White Chief now has vanquished one of the rebels. Rebels? What rebels? They start for the Maharaja's palace. So they're rebelling already against his rule. Soon they will attack in great force. Then we all die. God admire that guy's courage. Knows he's going to die, and still fights on. Say, what about your cargo? Is it coming? On mules, it's being transported even now. I think I'll stick close just to make sure these reach the palace. The Maharaja gives audience to the travelers. It's too bad the fireworks can't be used for celebration. I think they can, Your Highness.
Yes, we would rather use them for a celebration, not acceleration. We don't want to accelerate the rebellion.
These rebels, like other Indians, are superstitious. I have a plan. Go on. Next day, spies circulate in the marketplace. I heard Maharaja and a magician and will show he is favored by the gods. The heavens will open up and stars show her blessings. Tell Maharaja that tonight the rebels of Shalik Jihad attack. Be it so, master. And he said the attack will come tonight. Tonight? It couldn't be better. That evening, rebels attack the palace. Kill the Maharaja! Ye kill! Suddenly, above the fort, a great figure appears. Oh, wow. Here's a bit of an old trick, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Stop the rebellion, or I bring stars from heaven. Stars fall. Now I think I get it. Roy and Fleur touch off the Roman candles.
I sure hope this works.
The candles look like shooting stars. Muhammad, protect us!
Yeah, they're trying to rely on the hopefully superstitious nature of these rebels.
They flee in panic. We win, Rocky Ryan. It's lucky you had mercury in glass. Again, mercury, glass, and explosions. Sense a theme here?
Mm-hmm. Hey, you know what though? So far, this is nowhere near as like scientifically inaccurate as the Skyman was. So I'm digging it. It's fine.
Show you what you can do with mirrors, Roy. We made that mirror yesterday and put it against the wall. Tonight, when the lamp reflected on me as I stood here,
it cast your image on the mirror.
Look, we're almost done with this story, but then I'm going to ask you about that in a moment here.
Mm-hmm.
But what do we do now? We're going to see the Maharaja. He has a little proposition for us. Don't miss the Maharaja's proposition and what adventures come of it in the next month's issue of Big Shot Comics. Thrill is Rocky Ryan's worldwide adventure in every issue of Big Shot Con. All right, so first off, before I even ask my usual question, your analysis of the science that he just pointed out here about the mirror.
Yeah, so it's not the most far-fetched thing that we said, and Fizz is asking why should you care about the scientific accuracy in the stories. I actually don't care that much, but it is a fun thing to talk about, right? It gives us something to talk about. It's a fun thing to discuss. So we actually have done stuff like this for a really long time with mirrors. Now, the actual craziest part is how fast they were able to coat the surface and make that glass mirror overnight that they needed. That would probably take longer to set, but whatever. We could skirt past that. The scale is the only thing that's kind of weird about this. Like, they probably wouldn't be able to actually project him to look that big on it, but magicians have been using illusions like this for a really, really long time for shows. And we even use mirrored projections very early on in Hollywood, even already by this time. Like, we were doing stuff like this in the 20s, before like green screening and stuff was really practical, so that we could get things to look like they're in environments that they shouldn't be in. Right. And you can even make some stuff with some false perspective look a little bit bigger or smaller using mirrors than they were supposed to be. I just don't think they would have been able to quite get it to the size they did. But I'm going to give it an A+ because they did talk about some, like they used a technique that people knew already worked. They just did it in a fantastical way. So that's cool.
All right. So overall impressions of the story.
Well, I definitely like this a lot more than the last one of these guys, because the last one, it was a little too disfocused, right? There's only like 3 different plots in the previous story. This one was focused more into, I want to say 2 plots, but more 1.5, because one of them was just like following up the end of the previous story, right? They were trying to escape, and then we had one singular plot for the rest of it. So it was more focused. I think the writing was a little better. So I come out of this story feeling a little positive about it.
Yeah, kind of. It did feel like there was a smoother transition from like one story arc to the other, you know, in the story, right? Would you agree?
Yep. Yeah. And I think maybe they were starting just a little too heavy before. And after that point, they were able to just kind of mosey into, okay, we can just tell a single story this time.
All right. So anything more you want to say before we move on to the next story?
Only that the previous one was almost entirely just like a fictional plot or whatever. Like they thought of some things, they put it in. It was actually pretty appropriate to the area. I remember this being one of the ones I talked about where the guy did some research before writing because he got like names of places, culture and stuff, mostly right. The monastery was a little like completely made up, but that's fine because they even said, oh, this doesn't represent the locals. This is like a weird cult that popped up out of nowhere. So that was fine. And this time too, it actually reflected the geopolitics of the time pretty like precisely, because you think this is actually before the nation of Pakistan is formed, which would have been in 47. And a lot of these type of like attacks and rebel groups were happening between conflicting people towards India and the surrounding area at that time. So I think it also gets points for that.
All right. So we'll get ready to move on to the next story then. And again, friendly reminder to everybody, of course, for both my Rumble and my YouTube viewers, if you haven't already, if you guys can help out by liking and sharing the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people to engage, it'd be appreciated. Also, if anything here grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions, and we will try to answer the questions the best of our ability.
Yeah. I don't know how the rest, like if we want to cover another one or whatever the next story will be, but so far, my money is being put on that Rocky is probably going to be consistently the best story to come out of Big Shot Comics.
Right. Well, the next story we're going to read, of course, is Marvello, Monarch of Magician.
Back to Marvello again. I remember him last time.
Yeah. Well, got to throw in a magician in there once
Yeah.
in a while, right? But more so. So there'll be two more stories we'll cover: Marvello and the Face. So this is, of course, Columbia's version of the Face. So, anyways, let's get into this one. Marvello, Monarch of Magicians by Fred Guarnier. The stock market has been strangely active. Strangely active, raising and dropping its quotations, causing thousands of people to lose fortunes. Helpless widows, poor men, and women, suffer from the bear market. The unfortunates, people who have lost all to the market, give us our money back. You ruined me. Perival Delancey, high official of the exchange, turns in annoyance from the anguished throngs. Bowers, send them away. Those people will drive me mad. Gentlemen, I came as soon as I could to announce that our little plan is working. Good. We'll corner the entire market among ourselves. That's some trick you thought up, Delancey. And to think that a simple trick like fixing the machines so that they convey wrong information does all this. Oh, that's definitely pretty crooked, right?
Oh yeah.
Marvello.
He should be in the spy business.
What was that?
He should get into the spy business, misinformation.
Marvello, greatest of all magicians, arrives at the exchange on a tour of the city. A sad sight, those weeping people. What can cause it? It's crooked work behind the rises and drops of the stocks. I tell you, it's not just gambling. Oh, crooked work. I must investigate. I cannot allow so many poor people to be duped like this. You can't enter here without a pass. No, your clothes demand your attention. Colora! The magician gives the guard something to think about. Hey, come back here. Oh man, look at that.
And I've heard people say that you need to wash your clothes so they don't get so stiff that they stand up and walk away on their own, but that adds a new meaning to it.
Yep. Just kind of what I was saying. Man. Dignity is a dignity is a mighty force in human behavior. Without his uniform, the guard lacks it. Oh boy. So I guess Marvell is telling everybody that without a uniform, he has no dignity, I guess.
That's true, but I think it's more even that running around in your underwear kind of also makes you lose your dignity.
Marvello, about to put the honesty of the exchangeman to the test. Who let you in? I have $10 million to invest, and I want advice. 10 million? Where is it? I shall command it. Colora! Porters laden with trunks full of money enter the room. Well, you look at all this money. I'll invest it for you in Amalgamated United. You'll double it. Amalgamated. That's a familiar word in finance circles, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Allow me to show you the place, and I'll place your order while I'm at it. I must find out if he is honest. If he isn't, I must restore those poor people's losses to them. The money is invested, and the reports start to come over the ticker tape. While Amalgamated United is dropping, you're losing thousands. Just as I thought, he's crooked. Are you sure? Are you sure? The tape reads a profit. Are you sure the tape reads a profit? Colora! Delancey eyes the ticker tape in amazement. It's incredible! It's incredible! Something's wrong. I mean, excuse me.
Yeah. Don't show your hand there by saying something's wrong.
The ticker tape speaks. Why don't you tell the truth that you're a crook? Why, help, I'm going crazy from overwork. I'll toss a cloak of invisibility over myself and follow him. Joe! Joe, what are you doing? Flash the word. Amalgamated United is dropping. I am. He is not. At the muttered magic word, Calora, the control board speaks. You're flashing false signals to the floor. You're making widows and orphans lose every penny they have. This is insane. I'm quitting. We machines won't do any more of your crooked work. We'll go on strike. A machine going on strike. Oh boy.
Yeah, this must be how like Sid felt in Toy Story when the toys started talking to him in the backyard.
All over the entire exchange, an amazing thing happens. We're on strike. What's happening? It's the end of the world. The machine age is dominating us. Marvello, I can explain all this. Or Marvello, I can explain all this. You mean I've gained $40 million, don't you? The stock went up 40 points. No, no, I haven't got that much money. You've got to. Sam, the car, bring the car here. Oh boy. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I don't think the car will obey. Colora! Delancey's car refuses to give him a ride. Unless you quit your crooked ways, I'll never give you a ride again. Oh boy, that's got to be something.
Man, this
A
is honestly
car
just feels
refusing
like
to
this could happen
huh?
in like the next couple. This feels like this could just happen in the next couple of years without magic needing to be involved at all, right? Like we've already got these Waymo cars driving people around. Think if they ended up getting personalities and just decided, nah, I don't feel like giving you a ride.
Oh boy, Mister Delancey, sir, help me. Okay, I guess I had to do the disclaimer here. Remember, this was a product of the time. We don't condone any um, racist behavior here. This was a product of the time. We're just playing a part. We're not, we don't condone any of this. Oh, there's my disclaimer for the night. Mighty interesting car. That car that care to sell it? Let me alone! Can't you? Can't you? I'm going to see my board of directors. They'll know what to do.
Sure, I'm absolutely sure your board of directors knows how to handle machines coming to life. They are completely experienced in this field of things that are just happening for the first time now.
Yeah, and monarchs of magicians too, right? Colora, would you care to ride with me? A rickshaw? My word, yes, I'll come. As they pass through the streets, Delancey sees numbers of weeping people due to Marvello's magical powers. There he is, the man that cheated us. Let's get even with him. Let's steal his things. Police! Police! Help! You stole from us. We're going to steal from you. Give me your hat. Oh boy. Oh wow. Talk about madness there, huh? What do you
Yeah,
think?
yeah.
You think they're gonna rip his clothes off and leave him there?
I don't know what the mob's gonna do, but they should. They should just leave him in his underwear. That guy's awful.
Yeah.
He's trying to
Oh
ruin like
yeah,
all
he
of their
won't be
lives.
completely naked, I don't think, because this was still.
Yeah, they have to publish this. It's gonna be on newsstands. I think at worst he'll be in his boxers, maybe
Right.
like a tank top too. But
Kind of like the guard from earlier, right?
yeah,
What do you want me to do? You took their money, didn't you? They're taking things that belong to you. Marvella, take me home. Delancey finds a horde of people walking off with his home. Walking off with his home? All right. I think that narration might be a little off there.
no, I understand it, right? Because your home is not necessarily the place you live in, but it's also the stuff that accompanies it. Like what makes a house into a home. And if you
Oh,
take
the
some all of
furnishing, the
somebody's possessions,
decorations.
right? Yeah, like if you take all the stuff that that person identifies with them and their home, you are walking off with their home, right? Like if the IRS came and repossessed a bunch of your stuff, they're walking off with your home.
Hmm. Look what they're doing to my home. He should be glad they're not burning it down.
Yeah, yeah. It's also like why people say, um, like you'll eat me out of house and home. If they were both the same thing, you wouldn't have to repeat it, right?
Mm-hmm. Stop! What are you madmen doing? We're simply taking what belongs to us. Turnabout is fair play. Even inanimate objects seem to turn from Delancey. We wouldn't even stay in your house, you thief. We wouldn't even stay in the. This is the end. To save my sanity, I must call the directors and tell them to stop the crooked machines. Why do you want to call up on me? Oh, I want to save hundreds of poor people from losing more money. Yeah, right. More like he wants to save his own, you know what, right?
Yeah. I don't think he actually cares at all. Except for, the
That's
stuff he
different.
identifies as him.
Yeah, that's different. I'm only too glad to be of service. Thank you very much. Delancey's pleas for a reform of the exchange meets with refusal. So I tell you, it must end. Nonsense. I'm getting richer every day. I won't stop. Marvello appears before Jenkins out of the. So we find out the guy's name pretty quickly here. Jenkins.
Oh yeah.
Unless you agree, dread things dread things will happen to you. Get out of here before I have you thrown out.
How you gonna do that? Somebody who just appeared before you out of nowhere, you're going to successfully throw them out of a place?
The floor falls away beneath Jenkins' feet. Help! Help! Spare me! Spare me! I'll do whatever you say. That's quite a scary thing going on there. Watching how that floor is just breaking apart on him like that.
Yeah, skill issue. He could have got out of that.
You'll do as I say. What? You won't? You're meeting difficulties? Let me have the phone a moment. As Marvello seizes the phone, suddenly at the other end, the phone! It's charged electrically. It's shocking me. A taste of the charged phone changes his mind. Yes, Marvello. Yes, indeed, sir. I'll do whatever you wish. That Marvello is a wizard. If I didn't agree to go honest, he might have electrocuted me to death. The next day, Marvello attends the meeting of the board of directors.
Also, I don't think you have to say electrocuted me to death. Electrocution already implies death. Yeah, just so you know, weird stockbroker guy.
Yeah, I think there's a little redundancy there in the writing. Here comes Marvello. Oh, all the doors are locked, yet he comes through the solid wall. There goes the machinery we had fixed, so it gave out wrong reports. Everything is all right now. See to it that it stays all right. Yeah, because you don't want Marvello coming back and cursing you again, right?
Yeah, I would prefer just to like never see or hear of this guy again if I was them.
If I ever hear of anything crooked going on around here, you know what to expect. We've turned honest. You shown us, Marmel, that it pays. As he leaves the stock market, Marvello sees happy people again. We got our money back. Yes, a special dividend was declared. The end. All right, so Marvello will amaze and mystify you by his feats of magic every month in Big Shot Comics. All right, so Metal, overall impressions of this story.
I mean, the art's good. The paneling, the layout, the lettering is all good. It's quality in that regard. I don't care for it. This probably does a lot for some people. Like a lot of people probably like these type of stories. But it Marvello is very much just a power fantasy, right?
Mm,
And not much more than that. In regards to like this story we read was a torture power fantasy where the writer wrote some people that deserve to be punished, and the
mm,
entire thing was those people getting punished. And that can be fine, especially if you rewrote the comic to where Marvello was like a force of nature that other people were like running from. And we spent more time in the perspective of the other characters. But because Marvello's the main character of the story, it really
mm,
just feels like we're instead of writing like a positive moral or trying to write a fun story where there's some type of force that he's working against, that Marvello is like the antagonist here,
mm,
right?
right.
And our protagonists are people who just deserve to be punished. It's like a Christmas Carol, but without actually sympathizing with Scrooge, right? Who's the actual main character. So I personally think this is a very weak story.
Hmm.
It's probably fun for the creators. Some other people, especially having to deal with a time where this is after recovering from the stock market crash, probably still don't have a very positive opinion of people in the stock market rigging and taking people's money and stuff. So there's probably some catharsis in that, but I just think it makes the story weak.
All right, and apparently we spent a little bit more time than I thought we would on this because it's coming up on 2 hours here, so I think it's a good time to
Yeah,
wrap up. But
definitely.
let's see. I think I just asked you your overall impression of this story, right?
Yes. That's what I was ranting about.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we got through 4 features tonight. Um, we got through 4 features tonight. So of the 4 features, so before, of course, before we start to wrap things up here, of the 4 features that we went over tonight, which one did you like? Which one did you like the best, or made the best impression, and why?
It was definitely Rocky. Like I'm sticking with that one. Like I said before, I think it was improvement from the previous story, which was already probably one of the stronger. There's like 2 stronger stories from the last time we read this. So it was one of the stronger ones. It got even stronger. It was very focused in its storytelling,
Mhm.
and you could tell that the writer actually cared a lot about what he was writing. Like he put a lot of effort into it, and it showed. So I think that's probably the strongest one for sure. It's the one I enjoyed the most too.
All right. All right. And of course, in contrast, so we found out what you felt the strongest story was, Rocky Ryan. Um, so of the three remaining stories, Skyman, Marvello, or Spy Chief, which one did you like the least, or made the least impression,
Mm.
and why?
Oh, that's a tough one because it's either between Spy Chief or Marvello, right? And I almost want to say Spy Chief because like it really was a story where it was just going from one thing to the next, but at least there was like an actual plot there, right? At least there was some conflict to the character we were reading. He had a little bit of pushback that he needed to do. It's a story that could have been easily improved if you rewrote it.
Mm-hmm.
Marvello, on the other hand, is like, I just have too many complaints on the entire angle that they decided to take the story. Like, I'd have to cut that thing apart and completely change the perspective that we're viewing it from. So I'm going to say Marvello was probably the weakest one. It's barely even a story.
Hmm. All right. So, well, with that now, so we're done with that portion of it. So the last thing we're gonna, and if you can also stick around for a few minutes after the show for post show, that'd be appreciated. Um, but now, what we're gonna do now is gonna start to wrap things up by with today being Sunday, December the 14th, 2025. Let's go ahead and take a look back at this weekend in niche history. Histories! Let me just scroll through real quick. Yeah, 14, 13, and 14. Okay. So, first off, we're going to go back 20 years ago yesterday. As on yesterday's date, 20 years ago, as soon as I find it there. 20 years ago yesterday, Kronk's New Groove from Walt Disney and Scooby-Doo Where's My Mummy from Warner Brothers both premiered in theaters on yesterday's date 20 years ago. So 20 years ago, the movies Kronk's New Groove, which was a part of the Emperor's New Groove franchise from Walt Disney, and Scooby-Doo Where's My Mummy from Warner Brothers Animation, both premiered in movie theaters on yesterday's date 20 years ago.
I've seen both of those.
Any thoughts you want to share on those? Or
Kronk's New Groove was not as strong as the Emperor's New Groove.
huh.
I definitely would not have recommended seeing that like in a theater or anything. Maybe like home video, sure, if it aired on Disney Channel, but it wasn't worth going to a theater to watch. Not like The Emperor's New Groove, which is a timeless classic I would recommend anybody watch.
All right. And then we have 15 years ago yesterday, on yesterday's date, 15 years ago, on the Go Home Raw before, on the Go Home show before the TLC pay-per-view, WWE held its Monday Night Raw event from the New Orleans Arena in New Orleans, Louisiana. They also had the Slammy Awards going on that night. On the show itself, John Cena defeated David Otunga in a singles match in just under 2 minutes. Randy Orton defeated Alex Riley and former WCW World Champion David Arquette in a handicap match. Man, I didn't think he did any wrestling after WCW, but I guess I was wrong there. I don't know if you were aware of this, but David Arquette was a big part of WCW towards its end back in like 2000.
Listen, I hardly recognize any of the names on this page in front of me. I could probably pick out a few, and that's it. Like, I know Ziggler, I know Orton. Those are names I recognize. A lot of Mysterio, I recognize that name too. Cody Rhodes, I recognize. Actually, he's going to be in the Street Fighter movie. But a lot of these people, I would not even be able to put their name to a face if you put a line up. John Cena, I know John Cena.
Well, he just retired last
Yeah.
night.
I know the Big Show. That's another one I know.
Yeah, the Big Show defeating Wade Barrett by count out. Kobe Gaines
Big
and
Show
Daniel
should have
Bryan.
played Kingpin. I don't know why Big Show's never been casted as Kingpin.
All right. So anyways, that was all. So that was from 15 years ago. That was the Go Home Raw heading into the following Sunday's TLC event. So there we go with that. Now moving on to today, as we move back 75 years ago today, on this date 75 years ago, as I pull that up from 1950. The 30th issue of Georgie from Marvel known at least this part known as from Gem Publication Incorporated, went on sale on this date back in 1950. Features include 3 Georgie stories, and Georgie Porgy and Flying Flybirds, and then Happy Birthday of Willie. So, it looks like a teeny bopper type comic, which they had a lot of them back in.
They did. Like Marvel and the things that became Marvel had a bunch of those stories back then.
Mm-hmm.
Look,
and
Lee
we
even
will
edited
eventually get to those, by the way.
Yeah.
All right. So, and one last piece of Meech history, of course. We move ahead to 60 years ago, 1965. On this date in 1965, and I bring that up, of course. Produced by Nihon Hoso Egasha and originally airing on NTV. On this date, 60 years ago, Tadakai Osper, translated as Fight Osper, premiered on Japanese television on this date back in 1965. After the catastrophe that destroyed the continent, the inhabitants of Mu have adapted to living in the ocean. In cities covered by huge domes, many years later, the inhabitants become psychic. So there we go. Fight Osper premiered on this date 60 years ago. Alrighty then. So with that being said, of course.
Well, you probably talked about this on your main show. I didn't catch every single show this week. But what about not so niche news about what happened 100 years ago yesterday?
100 years
which
ago.
was Dick Van Dyke was born. Yeah, he just turned 100.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. I probably would not have covered him because partly because even though he's had some animated works, that's not a big, like, I know, like, he did make a couple of appearances on on the new Scooby-Doo movies, like a lot of them did back in the early 70s there, but but I wasn't even aware I wasn't even sure he was still alive. But
oh yeah. He's actually had quite a few voice works throughout the years. Even stuff as late as like 2016.
Yeah. But of course, that's not as, I don't think that's as much. He's known more for his like comedy work and also for, I know he did have that one.
Well, that's why I said it was not so
that
niche.
one medical drama show a few years ago. I just can't remember the name of it. All right. So with that being said, I thank everybody for being here tonight. I hope everybody enjoyed the show. Actually, before we go, okay, I hand it off to Metal here one more time. See if he would like to maybe do any more promotion, promote anything he's doing this week or talk about, I think you know the shtick, right?
Yeah. You'll be able to find me over in the Vomitorium Live, coming up 5 nights a week. I'll be doing it every single weeknight at 12 Eastern, 9 Pacific. I mean, I'm still going to use Central Time for everything for my own scheduling, but since I'm promoting it here, I might as well give you the traditional blocks that people give you on like TV and stuff. And it'll be a nightly talk show, hour long, about whatever I want to talk about that night. So that'll be fun. You find me there. And since it is the first night of Hanukkah, I also am going to promote this particular story over at nextdynamischaos.com for my characters that you can see in the background on tour with Mitch and Sandy. And it's the first short I made with them, where they have to fight a parody of the Backstreet Boys, because that's the life they have to live if they want to make it as indie musicians. So you go and read that. That'll be fun.
All right. So anything more you want to promote before we head out?
I might have something cool coming up in the pipes for the Vomitorium, but that's going to remain a secret until the actual date of the first one gets announced. So that's it.
All right. So with that being said, I thank everybody for being here. We're back here with more Meech News tomorrow. And of course, next week we'll be continuing our trip down Comics History Lane. Let's see. Next week's actually the 21st, so I'll be joined by Rex Christian from Devil Flyer Momentum. We'll actually be looking at comics that went on sale from Fawcett, which likely will mean we might hit up some of the original Captain Marvel, maybe some Ibis or Spy Smasher among a few. But with that, I thank everybody for being here, and I hope to see everybody back here tomorrow. Bye.